one, when I came down here, Henry McMaster, I said, so why are you with me? He said, because I like what you're saying. I agree. We need strong borders. We're talking about it now, and we have. So he said, we need strong borders. We have to stop crime. We want lower taxes. We love our military. We love our vets. And we love our Second Amendment. Other than that, I don't know what he said. I don't know what else he told me, but you know what? That was enough, right? And he was sort of this, like, handsome guy with a wonderful wife. Peggy. Where's Peggy? Peggy. I said, you really are a fighter. The beautiful thing with Henry is you don't even know it. He does it in a very elegant manner. But he is a fighter. He's been here with us. And, Henry, I'd like to ask you just to come on up. This has been an interesting voyage over here. I have never taken a longer... It's true. I have never taken a longer trip ever to South Carolina. Come here. Come here, Henry, my man. Say a few words.
Thank you, Mr. President. South Carolina loves Donald Trump. Y'all, we were out at the airport waiting, and we were watching these forces of nature, and there was the lightning, and there was the thunder, and the storm, and the rain, and then it cleared, and Air Force One landed, and the real force of nature got off the plane and stepped into South Carolina. Donald Trump has kept every promise that he's made. We love him. We for him. He's going to make America great again. We're going to help him do it. We're going to do it right here in South Carolina. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Henry. Now, you know, we have a lot of fake news back there, these fakers. And you know that if a horrible thing happened and we weren't lucky enough to have Henry win, you know they won't talk about that. They will say, Donald Trump suffered a major, major defeat in the great state of South Carolina. It was a humiliating defeat for Donald Trump. So please get your asses out tomorrow and vote. There's like this massive difference in time. Who knows? I said, let me ask you, we have a situation that's very interesting. I'm turning on the television, and I see the race, and I say, what time is it right now in South Carolina? They said, sir, it's almost 4 o'clock. I said, oh, I've got to endorse Katie. I said, how many hours are left? They said, like 3.5. I say, maybe I shouldn't do it because I won't have enough. And what happened, I did. I said, I don't care. I can't stand that guy. I don't care. I don't care. And I like her. She was another one right from the beginning. She didn't talk about other people, right? So I said, I don't care. So we had like 3 hours, 3.5 hours left, something. I'm just lifting off from Singapore, far away. It was a 22-hour flight. You think that's fun? That's not even fun in Air Force One, okay? 20. When are we landing? Sir, we're almost there. 7 more hours. Oh, good. When they tell you you're almost there, you only have 7 hours left. And by the way, we had a great success. North Korea. Chairman Kim. Great, great. We're not looking up in the air. Any rockets up there? Any rockets? Japan is very happy. They haven't had a rocket shot over them in 7 months. There's been no rocket tests. There's been no nuclear tests. There's been no ballistic missiles. They've blown up their site. Today, it got no coverage because fake news doesn't cover it. But today, look at all those fake newsers back there. Look at all. Well, that's a lot. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. And you want to see a lot of people? Go outside. This is a gymnasium. I said, Henry, I don't work gymnasiums anymore. He said, please. I said, okay, I'll be there. Go outside and take a look outside. You won't believe what's going on. Wonderful. And the world is soon going to be, and right now it is already, we have good chemistry, but the world is going to be a much safer place. And North Korea is going to be a much better place. So it was really something that was good. Testing, no more this. They agreed. By the way, we got our hostages back. Okay? We got our hostages. I got them back even before we left. We're getting the remains of our great heroes back. And when I first made the announcement that we're getting together, this was 5-6 months ago, it was in the Oval Office, I'll never forget it. And these guys were saying, unbelievable, unbelievable. Do you believe this? South Korea, remember they came over from South Korea. They stopped North Korea, South Korea, the Olympics. And it started with the Olympics. When Chairman Kim said, we want to go to the Olympics, I said, yeah, that's nice. It's a big difference from the dialogue we were having, right? Slight. It's slight. They want to go to the Olympics. And the Olympics would have been a massive failure, and it turned out to be a massive success. And President Moon of South Korea gives us the credit. They were not selling. People did not want to be nuked in a stadium as they watched the opening ceremonies. Wow, takes a long time. Not easy. Not easy. They've been doing this for many, many decades. And not that easy, but they took down signs, anti-United States signs all over North Korea. They're down. They took them down. Anti-U.S. signs. Like I put up anti-media signs all over the place. So point after point after, but it starts off, first sentence, we will denuclearize North Korea. Okay, so you know what the fake news said? Donald Trump has suffered a humiliating defeat because I agreed to meet. I said, I agreed to meet. In other words, because I agreed to meet, they couldn't think of anything else. So, and I will say this, at the beginning, they couldn't believe it was happening. 2 days later, they were saying, Hillary Clinton could have done that. I don't think so. Boy, did you ever see anybody so protected in your life? Did you ever see that? Point after point after point, and I did nothing, and it just never ends. Never ends. No collusion, no nothing. And then she writes a book, and she does a tour, and how many reasons did she give for losing the election? Like, every week it was a different reason, right? She blamed everybody for losing the election except for one person, herself. Sometimes you have to toot your own horn because nobody else is going to do it. Certainly they're not going to do it. No, certainly they're not. No, certainly they're not going to do it. So sometimes you have to do it, right? That's why when the polls are good, you remember during the campaign, when the polls were good, I would always talk about it. When they weren't so good, I wouldn't mention it, right? I didn't talk polls, but they were good. For a lot of time, they were good. And by the way, Georgetown Steel just opened their plant yesterday. They're spending a lot of money after many years of being closed. Georgetown Steel in South Hollywood guy. The reason I do this is, you know, you don't hear this. And plenty of them voted for me. Plenty of them voted for me. David Lynch could go down as one of the greatest presidents in history. Of course, there goes his career, right, in Hollywood. Veteran filmmaker David Lynch believes President Donald Trump could be remembered as one of the greatest presidents in American history because of the way he has shaken up the political establishment and because of what I've done. However, he now appears to believe, because he was a Democrat or is a Democrat or something, he actually voted for Obama. And here it says he voted for Bernie Sanders, okay? But he now, it says, however, he now appears to believe that Trump may have been the right choice in an intelligent way. And by the way, you know, they call them the elites, right? The elites. You know what you are? You're the super elites. I'm changing titles. I'm changing. I'm changing. No. Look at everybody here makes money, works hard, pays taxes, does a great job. You're smarter, you're better, you're more loyal. We have the greatest base in the history of politics. We do. They interviewed 10 women on one of the opposing networks, you know, the enemy of the people, I call them. And they said to these women, these were about 10 really great women. These are non-political women that had Trump here, Trump there, wearing Trump hats, badges. So this announcer says, what can he do? And you've heard me say this, because this happens a lot. What can he do where you won't be with him? What can he do when you're going to drop Donald Trump? And one of these women stood out, perhaps the leader, perhaps not, but she came forward and she said, there's absolutely nothing he can do. Can you believe it? We've never had higher polls than we have now. Even Gallup, who treats me horribly. You know, polls are fake news also, you know. What they do is called suppression. They put out these horrible polls, and then they hope that everyone's going to say, hey, look, I like Trump, but he's got no chance of winning. Suppression. It should be illegal, actually, you know. You want to check these pollsters, you know, where are they coming from? They knew. We had one with ABC, I think it was ABC Washington Post, just before the election. Like a week before, we were down 12. Now, if you're down 12, okay, if you're down 12, it's over, if the polls are real. But I said, it can't be real. We just went to Michigan. We had 30,000 people. We just went to other places. Excuse me, we went to South Carolina, but I didn't come here that often. You know why? Because we were leading by a lot. So I said, if you don't mind, do you mind if I don't come back here? I'm going to go to places like that we have it a little bit closer. And nobody said, don't worry about it. They said, you stay out of here, Mr. President. This has become the party of Maxine Waters and Nancy Pelosi. That's who it is. So they don't mind crime. They want open borders. We want really tough borders. And we want people to come in. We want people to come in through the legal process. What about the thousands of people? What about the thousands of people that have gone through this process, that are waiting online to come into our country, and then we're going to let these people pour in? We have no idea who they are. And they came to me 3 days ago. Sir, would like you to sign this order. What is the order? We need 5,000 judges on the border. I said, judges? What other country has judges? I said, how many do we have now? They didn't even know. So we have thousands of judges, and now we're going to have 5,000. Now, I've done a good job with judges. Judge Gorsuch, Supreme Court Justice Gorsuch. And we have many judges. We will set the record, I believe, for the most judges appointed, which is a very important thing. We're putting great, talented people who see the Constitution the way it's written. They don't make up. Jobs are way up. Your numbers are through the roof. You're a real leader all over the country. They're looking at South Carolina. Well, your governor is a man named Henry McMaster. You're doing unbelievable numbers. So I didn't want to say that, Henry. I didn't want to say that, Henry. I wanted to take the credit for myself. But I figured South Carolina would understand, right? But we're standing on the shoulders of true American patriots who put down the railroads, built up the highways, and dug out a thing called the Panama Canal and lost many lives doing it. Mosquitoes. Millions of lives, in my opinion. Millions. You don't hear that. Millions of lives. Our ancestors won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and put a man on the face of the moon. And by the way, NASA is now open for business. Open for business. No, but I thought that was incredible. But you have all these rich guys. They're worth billions of dollars. They want to spend money on rocketry. I think it's great. And I told my people, let them do it. Because if they reach the moon with their money, we're going to take all the credit, okay? We're going to forget about that. Nobody's going to remember their name, but they're going to remember our names. So let them do it. Let them do it. But to keep this momentum going, we need more Republicans in Washington. And we need Governor Henry McMaster as a continuation in South Carolina.